Taylor Swift has a new album coming, The Life of a Showgirl, and we've got all the details. Join us every Sunday on the Taylor Swift Today podcast, your ultimate source for everything happening in Taylor's world. From her romance with Travis Kelce to career milestones, legal battles, and cultural impact, we cover it all. I'm Allie, and I'll bring you exclusive insights, breaking news, and the stories that matter to Swifties everywhere. Whether it's new music, red carpet appearances, or the latest from the Eras Tour, we're your weekly destination for Taylor Swift news. Subscribe to Taylor Swift Today wherever you get your podcasts.
Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where we distract you with Sydney Sweeney, this is Ballot.
Oh, you're not distracting me. Release the Epstein files, you coward. I'm Patrick Gutfield, and the White House wants you to stop asking about the Epstein files. Instead, the White House has apparently decided that Sydney Sweeney is America's new sweetheart, and they're making it everyone's problem. The White House's official social media account posted a photo of Trump from behind, appearing to shout, with the caption, "Have you seen the Sydney Sweeney ad?" The image was from Trump yelling to reporters about nuclear missiles from the White House roof, which is somehow the perfect metaphor for this entire situation. Nothing says casual jeans advertisement discussion like nuclear weapons policy. Not to be outdone, the Department of Defense Rapid Response account posted a photo of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth with the caption that he has great genes. So now we have military officials weighing in on denim quality, which is definitely what the Pentagon should be focusing on. The administration is treating Sweeney like she's the new face of American conservatism, based entirely on her voter registration and a clothing advertisement. Meanwhile, she's probably just trying to pay her mortgage and wondering how selling jeans turned into a political movement. Next, they'll probably discover that Ryan Reynolds is registered as an independent and spend 3 days analyzing his Deadpool movies for hidden political messages. So the Trump administration, which promised to expose all the Jeffrey Epstein secrets, is now being accused of covering them up by Epstein's own victims. This is what happens when your campaign promises meet the reality of actually being in power. They built entire political careers on promising to rip the lid off the supposed cover-up. Now that they're actually in charge, victims and their lawyers are saying the real cover-up is happening right now, orchestrated by the same people who promised transparency. The situation has gotten so problematic that top administration officials met last week at J.D. Vance's house to figure out damage control. Hey, do you guys want to come over to J.D.'s house? Sure. Are we going to watch football or something? No, we're going to talk about the Epstein files. The new controversy involves Maxwell's mysterious prison transfer to a lower security facility that sex offenders typically aren't eligible for without special waivers. This happened right after Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche interviewed Maxwell, and while Trump has been floating the possibility of pardoning her. The optics here are roughly as bad as possible. Well, almost as bad as possible. A bunch of pictures of a certain someone standing next to his good friend Jeffrey Epstein is as bad as possible. Think about it. If you had a picture of you and O.J. Simpson in a Rams jersey, wouldn't that be far, far less concerning than a picture of you and Epstein? It's not like O.J. would be asking you if you had some gloves he could borrow. The political problem here is massive. Polling shows Americans believe by 92 to 8% that Epstein files probably include damaging information about powerful or wealthy people. 69% think the government is hiding information about Epstein's clients, and 60% believe there's a cover-up about his death. Well, President Trump has officially turned the White House into the world's most expensive game of musical chairs, except instead of chairs, we're moving presidential portraits around like they're embarrassing family photos at a dinner party. Barack Obama's official portrait has been relocated from the grand foyer to the top of the grand staircase, which is the White House equivalent of being moved from the living room to the basement. The portrait now hangs in an area so restricted that it's seen by fewer people than a Trump University reunion. The Obama painting joins portraits of both George W. Bush and George H.W. Bush in what we can only call the presidential penalty box. These three portraits are now displayed in an area accessible only to family members, Secret Service agents, and a handful of staff, making them about as visible to the public as Trump's tax returns used to be. This is actually the second time Obama's portrait has been moved this year. Back in April, It was replaced in the Grand Foyer with a painting commemorating Trump surviving the assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. So we've essentially gone from hope to nope, you're in the stairwell now. Trump reportedly micromanages every aesthetic decision in the White House, which means somewhere in America there's a sitting president spending his time deciding whether Obama should hang next to the bathroom or the broom closet. This is what happens when you give someone with strong opinions about interior decorating access to nuclear codes. The moves violate traditional White House protocol, which calls for the most recent presidents to get the most prominent placement. But Trump has apparently decided that protocol is more of a suggestion, much like his relationship with most governmental norms. This latest redecorating spree comes as Trump has escalated his attacks on Obama, recently accusing him and his administration of treason during the 2016 election. Obama's office called these claims outrageous, bizarre, and a weak attempt at distraction, which is diplomatic language for "have you tried therapy?" The Bush portraits got caught up in this presidential game of hide and seek too, which makes sense considering the elder Bush once called Trump a blowhard and voted for Hillary Clinton. George W. Bush showed up to Trump's inauguration but skipped the luncheon afterward, which is the political equivalent of attending your ex's wedding but leaving before they cut the cake. During his first term, Trump swapped out Clinton and Bush portraits for William McKinley and Theodore Roosevelt, proving that sometimes the best way to deal with your predecessors is to literally replace them with dead people who can't tweet back. The tradition of presidential portraits began in the early 1960s under Jackie Kennedy. Before that, the policy was described as haphazard, a word that apparently gave Trump ideas for his second-term approach to White House decor. Portions of today's show were made with the help of AI. Release the Epstein files, you coward.
From the creators of Palace Intrigue, a new chapter in royal history begins. William and Kate's wedding captures the world's attention, but royal life isn't as perfect as it seems. Tensions rise as Harry meets Meghan, sparking a divide that will shake the monarchy to its core. From explosive interviews to family scandals, the royal family faces its most public challenges ever. As King Charles takes the throne, the future of the monarchy hangs in the balance. Family secrets, royal rifts, and the future of the crown. Crown and Controversy, wherever you get your podcasts.
What if the biggest threat to the royal family is the royal family? I'm Mark Francis, host of Palace Intrigue, the daily podcast that goes behind the palace gates and straight into the headlines. Right now, we're digging into Entitled, the bombshell new book that claims Prince Andrew's ties to Jeffrey Epstein run deeper than ever imagined, with espionage, secret deals, and even possibly a Trump massage list. New episodes every day. Follow Palace Intrigue wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to Alligator Alcatraz, a new podcast from Calaroga Shark Media. They built a detention center in the Florida Everglades to separate families and break spirits. Surrounded it with alligators, figured that'd be the end of it. What they didn't count on was Tommy Esperanza, a quiet maintenance worker who turned their bureaucratic nightmare into something extraordinary. While corrupt politicians profited from human suffering and incompetent officials created disasters with PowerPoint presentations, Tommy built an underground network that reunited families, exposed massive fraud, and brought down a congressman. Where the Gators were smarter than the guards, families fought back against systematic cruelty, and one man proved that wisdom beats authority every single time. Alligator Alcatraz, available wherever you get your podcasts.